Hello everybody, I am JC from MySpace, and today I'm going to show you guys how I edit in Final Cut Pro 10. Now, first thing we're going to do is, you've opened up Final Cut Pro 10, but you have no idea where to start. You're going to go up here to File, you're going to import your media, which is going to be your audio, your video, whatever you need, and normally it's probably going to be on your desktop or in a file. I've already uploaded all of mine, or imported all of mine, but that's where you find, how you import stuff. Now, next thing you do is you make a project. In this case, I'm going to be doing Borderlands. So I'm going to name this that's not how you spell, Borderlands number 1 because it's the first one of the series, 1080p, 1920 by 1080, 60 frames per second. So, boom, hit enter, and there's your timeline. Next thing you do is, in my case, I have 3 different files to import here. I have my gameplay, I have my face cam, and then I have my audio. So I'm going to pull down my, I'm going to pull down my gameplay, my face cam, and then my audio from Audacity. Now, in this case, on mine, there's also going to be some audio you can see popping up here from the face cam. So we're going to take that to 0. I take my gameplay down to about 15 to 20, depending on how loud it is. Let's go about 20 on this one. 20. And then I usually bump my actual audio up to about 12, just because that's where I like having it at. Now, in my case, and this may not be the case for you, but I'll show you anyway, when you record with OBS, you can record multiple channels. So I record my audio here, my face cam audio on track 1, and then the gameplay on track 2. So I want to make sure my audio is on track 2 for my gameplay, so that I actually have gameplay audio. Otherwise, it's just going to be quiet. It's going to be you talking. You're not going to hear any gameplay. It's going to be weird. You don't want that. So next thing, we have our face cam here. We have our gameplay. But if you just hit, play, all you're going to get is your face cam. You don't want that. You want your gameplay with your face cam in the corner or so. So what I found, and this works for me, it could be a little different for you, but this is just, an idea to get you started. We're going to put it in the bottom left-hand corner. So for me, I found that works best with negative 728 on the x-axis and negative 410 on the y-axis. And see, that puts you down here, but now this is still too big. So we're going to come down here to scale, and I found 24.6 works perfectly. And see, there you have a nice little face cam down in the corner. It's not too big, it's not too small, you can still see it, but it doesn't take up too much of the screen. So, that's that. Now, if you want to go a step further and get a little fancier, you can add a border. So what you're going to do here is in effects, you're going to type in border, which I already had up there, and it will bring up the simple border. So you take that, you drag it onto your face cam, and that makes a little border. So we're going to bump the border width up to 50, and we're going to make the colors around, I try to use colors that kind of correspond to the episode. So in this case, we're going to use Claptrap colors. He's yellow. And if you go one step further, you can have a secondary border. So if you want to do that, you click border again and drag it onto your video, and there's your second border. Now, if you use 50 for that, it's going to cancel out the yellow you have there. So let's go 25, and that'll make it about half of the 50. And then we'll take this, and we'll make it black because Claptrap is black and yellow. And there you go. You have your black and your yellow border. That looks pretty good, right? Alright, so we're done with effects for right now. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to find our sync point. In my case, what I do when I sync a video is I say syncing in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And as I do that, I'm scrolling down, on the options menu, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we need to find where that matches up with the audio. So we're going to go back here to the start. Okay, that's where 3 will hit with my audio. So we're going to highlight this track here. Hold down Command in this track here so you select both of these, and we're going to drag 1, 2, 3. See, it's right there, it looks like. So we're going to Command B, and that will blade both of those. Just those 2 though, not the third one here. Delete those. Highlight these again, and we're going to drag it back just a little bit. Say about maybe right here. Because that's where I say 3 the first time, this will be 3 the second time. And if I'm correct, that should sync up pretty good. See, there we go. That's awesome. Okay, so Now, since I don't usually do this, but in Borderlands I did, I waited for the intro to roll. We want to find out where that starts, and it starts right about here. So now that we have everything synced up, highlight everything, find your start point, Command B, and that blades everything. And this is where the video will start. Now, one other thing, and I found, and this may not be true for everyone, but for some reason it is for me, my audio lags behind my face cam about a couple hundredths of a second. And I found the best way to, if this happens for you, the best way I've found to counter this is to come down here to your vocal audio track when you get a little closer there, and drag it to about 412, 410, somewhere around there. Need to zoom in once more. That should do it right about there. And 1, 4, come on, 4, 3, 412. 412 is about good. And now that's done. I'm going to zoom past the intro so we can get rolling a little further. Okay, so here we're at the character select screen, and somewhere around here I did lag for a while because I was picking my character. Generally, you want to cut out anything that's not, action-packed or informational. So we're going to find out where I lagged out. I think it's about right here in this little lapse right here. So right there, there's a little bit of no talking, so we're going to cut that out. So highlight everything, Command B, blade it out, and then the audio pops back in around right here. Drag a little bit there. Make sure it's where you want it, so play. Yeah, about right there. So we're going to Command B and cut out this little section right here. Alright, so I've picked my character, and the game is getting started. You don't really cut past, cutscenes or so. At least I don't. So now we're going to go and find out where another jump cut was. Nothing's around here because this is the tutorial showing you how to do everything, showing you how to save. And just so you know, like when you put your face cam everywhere, you generally don't want to cover anything if you can avoid it. I don't believe there's anything on the side of the screen, so I went ahead and covered that up. If there was something over here, like my ammo counter, which is over here, but if it was on the left-hand side, I'd put the face cam up in the upper left-hand corner. So, just something to keep in mind. So we're going to zoom past the bandit fights, probably to where we were in the village, which should be right around here? Question mark? Yeah, right around here. I glitched the game out and I couldn't progress any further, so we're going to zoom in just a little bit. And right around here we're going to jump cut, because I had to restart the game and do everything all over again. And we don't want to see that twice, so we're going to go and we're going to cut all that extra out. So we're there. We want to get back to where we were in Firestone. Right around here, okay, maybe a little further. Don't want exactly right there, but right around here probably is about where we want to be. Maybe a little further. About right there. So highlight everything, Command B. That will blade and cut everything, and then delete, and then all that's gone. And that's also cut your video time down, which is very good for upload times, for export times. So now that we're here, make sure it's where you want it to be. Yep, that's exactly where we want it. So now we're going to go and look for any more jump cuts that need to be made, which I don't believe there are any more that need to be made in this video. Since it's just the first episode in the series, I didn't really cut a whole lot out. So we're going to go down to the end of the video here, about right here. And the outro is playing, so a little further. And the outro is rolled. Highlight Command B and get rid of this excess on the end here. You don't need that anymore. And that part, basically the video itself is edited, but I add my end slate here, which was what rolls after my video. I want that to roll for 20 seconds, so on YouTube I can have my annotation and stuff start right there. So right click, change duration, and I set mine for 20 seconds. Alright, that is now 20 seconds long. I also use my outro music here, and that also needs to match up with that. So we're going to highlight or zoom in here. this is where it swells, and this where it peaks right there a little bit is where the actual beat starts, and that's what we want. So line that up right there. Make sure it's how you want it. Okay, that was off a little bit, so we need to try to match that back up a little bit, maybe about right there. Okay, a little bit more. Normally this would, tell you where, your wavelength is and everything, but it's rendering right now, so again, make sure it tries to match up. That's pretty good right there. Because you want that, yep, that's almost perfect. Back up just a little bit, and that's perfect right there. Because the beat hits right there when the end slate starts. So come down here, trim that up, make sure it matches your end slate, get rid of the excess, and I like to drag this back and have it fade out for about 5 seconds or so. And that's pretty much all there is to what I do to edit my videos. You don't have to do exactly what I did. You don't have to go into as much detail as I did, or you can go into more detail if you want to. This is just a little, basic tutorial to get you started on how to use Final Cut Pro. After you're done editing your video, come up here, File, Share, and I always do Master File. Okay, that's loaded up. On Settings, this everything here is how I do mine. Video, audio, H2, 64, 1920, 1080, QuickTime Player, QuickTime Movie, blah, blah, blah. Info, Borderlands 1, name it whatever you want. Description, it's just basic description. And then next. And that is where it'll, save it to your desktop, save it to a file, wherever you want to do. And then that will start exporting to your desktop. Now your export time, again, depends solely on how long your video is. If it's a 5-minute long video, it'll export pretty much maybe about 30 minutes or less. If it's 15 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it can take upwards to an hour, depending on the specs of your Mac, your PC, which I assume you're using a Mac, because Final Cut Pro does not work on a PC. So that's pretty much all I do to edit my videos. I'm probably going to go back through this and make sure there's no other jump cuts that need to be made. But I hope you guys found this informational. I've also used iMovie. iMovie is very similar to Final Cut Pro. It's just Apple's free, movie editor. Final Cut Pro does offer you a few more options. I've also used Sony Vegas Pro. I'm not as adept at that, but if you guys want a video in iMovie or Sony Vegas, let me know and I'll try to get around to those as soon as I possibly can. So I hope you guys found this video informational. If you did, do me a favor, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below, like the video, share it with your friends. I really, really appreciate it. And of course, thank you all so much for watching. Again, I hope this helped you. I will see you next time. So until then, guys, bye-bye.